tranquil journey into ancient Japan. Close your eyes and imagine a time long before the hustle of modern life. A time when the rhythm of the seasons guided every step, and nature was both home and sanctuary. Welcome to the Jomon period of ancient Japan, an era spanning thousands of years, where people lived in harmony with the earth. Tonight, let us take you on a serene journey to a world of simplicity and balance. A time when life was slower, and every breath connected the human spirit with nature's endless beauty. Chapter 1. The Land and the People. The Jomon period, named for the chord-marked patterns found on its pottery, began over 10,000 years ago and lasted until around 300 BCE. This era saw the rise of a culture deeply attuned to its surroundings. The landscapes of the Jomon world were rich and varied: dense forests, sprawling plains, and crystal-clear rivers teeming with life. The people, small communities of gatherers, hunters, and fishers, built their lives within these natural havens, relying on the land's abundance to sustain them. Chapter 2. Jomon Villages. Imagine walking into a Jomon village. The homes, known as pit dwellings, are half buried in the earth, their thatched roofs blending seamlessly with the environment. These structures were warm in the cold months and cool during the summer, ingeniously designed to suit the local climate. Life centered around the hearth, where meals were prepared, stories were told, and the flickering firelight danced on the faces of the family gathered around. Chapter 3. Daily Life and Survival. The daily lives of the Jomon people revolved around the rhythms of nature. They were skilled foragers, gathering acorns, chestnuts, berries, and roots from the forest. Fishing was also vital, and rivers provided salmon, trout, and other freshwater fish. Hunting added protein to their diet, with wild boar, deer, and birds being common prey. The tools they crafted from stone, bone, and wood were not only functional but beautifully made, reflecting their deep connection to their surroundings. Chapter 4. Artistic Expression. Perhaps one of the most enduring legacies of the Jomon people is their pottery. These vessels, among the oldest in the world, were adorned with intricate patterns created using cords, sticks, and fingers. Beyond their practicality, these pots were works of art, imbued with symbolic meanings and often used in rituals. They remind us of a time when beauty was interwoven with utility, and even the simplest items told stories of their makers. Chapter 5. Spiritual Beliefs. The Jomon people viewed the world as alive with spirits. Animistic beliefs guided their interactions with nature, as they revered the forces of wind, water, and earth. Rituals were a way to communicate with these unseen beings, ensuring harmony and balance. Clay figurines, known as dogu, were created as offerings or symbols of protection. These mysterious artifacts, often shaped like humans or animals, connect us to the spiritual life of this ancient world. Chapter 6. Community and Connection. In the Jomon period, community was everything. People worked together to gather food, build homes, and care for one another. The bonds of sounds of the forest softened, replaced by the gentle hum of insects and the distant call of an owl. It was a time of rest and reflection, a chance to dream under the protective canopy of nature. Conclusion. A timeless lesson. Though thousands of years separate us from the Jomon people, their way of life offers timeless wisdom. They remind us of the beauty in simplicity, the importance of harmony with the natural world, and the deep satisfaction found in community and creativity. As you drift into sleep, let their serene world inspire your dreams, carrying you to a place where time flows as gently as a forest stream, and the spirit of nature embraces you in its quiet peace. Yayoi Period, a peaceful exploration of ancient Japan. Relax and let your mind drift to an ancient world, a time when the seeds of modern Japan were first planted, the Yayoi Period. Spanning from approximately 300 BCE to 300 CE, this transformative era saw the rise of agriculture, metallurgy, and community-based living. Tonight, we will gently guide you through the landscapes, culture, and daily lives of the Yayoi people, weaving a tapestry of history and tranquility to ease your journey into restful sleep. Chapter 1. The Dawn of the Yayoi. The Yayoi period began as new technologies and cultural practices flowed into the Japanese archipelago, likely from the Asian mainland. These innovations marked a shift from the Jomon period's hunter-gatherer lifestyle to one centered on agriculture and settlement. The name, Yayoi, comes from the Tokyo neighborhood where archaeologists first uncovered pottery distinct from the earlier Jomon style. Chapter 2. Rice cultivation and agriculture. The introduction of wet rice cultivation was a defining feature of the Yayoi period. This innovation not only transformed the landscape but also shaped the rhythm of life. Rice paddies, carved into the fertile plains and irrigated by intricate water systems, became the heart of Yayoi communities. The people worked together to plant, tend, and harvest the rice, a crop that symbolized sustenance, community, and prosperity. Chapter 3. Daily life and housing. Yayoi villages were often situated near rivers or streams to ensure access to water for farming and daily needs. Homes were constructed from wood and thatch, with raised floors to protect against dampness and pests. Life revolved around communal activities, such as farming, cooking, and crafting. Villages also featured granaries, where harvested rice was stored securely, symbolizing both wealth and stability. Chapter 4. Pottery and tools. Pottery from the Yayoi period reflects the era's practical mindset. Unlike the ornate and intricate designs of the Jomon, Yayoi pottery was simpler and more utilitarian, used for cooking, storage, and rituals. Another major advancement was the introduction of bronze and iron tools. These materials revolutionized farming, hunting, and craftsmanship, enabling the Yayoi people to shape their environment with greater efficiency. Chapter 5. Social organization and trade. The Yayoi period witnessed the emergence of social stratification. As villages grew into larger settlements, roles within communities became more specialized. Chiefs and leaders oversaw agricultural production and trade, ensuring the community's prosperity. Trade routes expanded, connecting regions and allowing the exchange of goods such as rice, pottery, and bronze artifacts. This interconnectedness marked the beginnings of a structured society. Chapter 6. Spiritual Beliefs and Rituals. Spirituality played an integral role in Yayoi life. People honored natural forces and deities associated with rice cultivation and the elements. Rituals often involved offerings of bronze bells, mirrors, and weapons, which were believed to connect the earthly and spiritual realms. These artifacts, discovered in burial mounds and sacred sites, reveal the depth of the Yayoi people's reverence for the unseen forces that guided their lives. Chapter 7. Burial Practices and Ancestor Worship. Ancestor worship was a cornerstone of Yayoi spiritual practices. Burial mounds, known as Kofun, became prominent toward the end of the Yayoi period. These structures often contained treasures such as bronze mirrors and weapons, reflecting the status of the deceased and the belief in an afterlife. The community's connection to their ancestors fostered a sense of continuity and shared identity. Chapter 8. Connections to Modern Japan. The legacy of the Yayoi period lives on in modern Japan. Rice cultivation, introduced during this era, remains a central aspect of Japanese culture and cuisine. The social structures, rituals, and community-focused values of the Yayoi people laid the groundwork for Japan's later development. As you reflect on this era, consider how the past continues to shape the present in subtle and profound ways. Conclusion. A journey through time. As we leave the Yayoi period behind, let its lessons of harmony, innovation, and community inspire your dreams. Drift into restful sleep, carrying with you the quiet strength and beauty of a people who transformed their world with patience and care. Imagine the soft rustle of rice fields, the distant glow of a village hearth, and the whispers of a time when humanity and nature were inseparably intertwined. Kofun period, a journey through Japan's ancient tomb era. Step into a world where ancient mounds rise from the earth, whispering secrets of a time long past. Welcome to the Kofun period, a pivotal era in Japanese history that spanned from the 3rd to the 7th century CE. Tonight, we will take you on a tranquil journey through the lives, culture, and mysteries of the people who lived in this fascinating age. Let the soothing story of this ancient time guide you into peaceful slumber. Chapter 1. The Age of Tombs. The Kofun period derives its name from the monumental tombs built for powerful rulers and elites. These Kofun, ranging from modest mounds to massive keyhole-shaped structures, symbolize the growing complexity of society and the emergence of centralized leadership. Often surrounded by moats and dotted with haniwa, terracotta figures, these tombs served as eternal homes for the departed and markers of their influence. Chapter 2. Daily life in the Kofun period. In the Kofun period, life centered around agriculture, particularly rice cultivation. Villages were often located near rivers or fertile plains, where the land could be tilled for crops. Homes were simple wooden structures with thatched roofs, and families lived close to one another, fostering a strong sense of community. Beyond farming, people engaged in pottery, weaving, and metallurgy, creating tools and goods that supported their daily lives. Chapter 3: Social Hierarchy and Governance. The Kofun period marked the rise of powerful clans, known as uji, that controlled vast territories. Leaders of these clans wielded significant authority, commanding loyalty from their people and forging alliances with neighboring clans. This era also saw the formation of a centralized Yamato state, which laid the foundation for Japan's imperial lineage. The alliances and rivalries among these clans shaped the political landscape for centuries. Chapter 4: The Art of Haniwa. Haniwa, the iconic terracotta figures of the Kofun period, are both artistic and symbolic. These clay sculptures, shaped as warriors, animals, and houses, were placed around tombs to serve as protectors and markers of the deceased's status. Each haniwa tells a story, offering glimpses into the customs, beliefs, and daily lives of the Kofun people. Their detailed craftsmanship and variety make them invaluable artifacts of this era. Chapter 5: Spiritual Beliefs and Rituals. Spiritual life during the Kofun period was deeply rooted in nature. Shinto beliefs, which revered kami or spirits dwelling in natural elements, guided rituals and ceremonies. Burial practices reflected these spiritual connections, with elaborate tombs and offerings meant to honor the deceased and ensure their peaceful journey to the afterlife. The interplay between the earthly and the divine was a cornerstone of Kofun culture. Chapter 6: The Introduction of Buddhism. Toward the end of the Kofun period, Buddhism arrived in Japan from the Korean peninsula, introducing new spiritual and cultural ideas. While initially met with resistance, this profound belief system gradually gained acceptance among the ruling elite, influencing art, architecture, and governance. The introduction of Buddhism marked a turning point, bridging the Kofun and Asuka periods. Chapter 7: Trade and Cultural Exchange. The Kofun period was a time of growing connections to Japan's shores. Trade with the Korean peninsula and China brought valuable goods such as silk, iron, and advanced tools. These exchanges also introduced new technologies, agricultural techniques, and cultural practices. The blending of domestic and foreign influences enriched Kofun society, leaving an enduring legacy. Chapter 8: The End of an Era. By the 7th century CE, the Kofun period gave way to the Asuka period, marked by the full establishment of the Yamato state and the adoption of Buddhism as a dominant cultural force. The monumental tombs, however, remained as silent witnesses to a transformative era, preserving the stories of the people who shaped Japan's history. Conclusion: Reflecting on the past. As we close our journey through the Kofun period, let the tranquility of the quiet majesty of the tombs, the soft hum of a village at dusk, and the timeless connection between humanity and the natural world. The echoes of the Kofun period remind us of the beauty and resilience of a people who bridged the past and the future.
Asuka Period, a tranquil journey through Japan's first golden age. Close your eyes and travel back in time to an era where Japan's culture, art, and governance began to take shape. Welcome to the Asuka Period, spanning from the late 6th century to the early 8th century CE, a transformative time in Japanese history, and spiritual essence of this age. Chapter 1: The Land of Asuka. Nestled in the Nara Basin, the Asuka region became the heart of Japan's first centralized government. Its fertile plains, abundant rivers, and proximity to trade routes made it an ideal location for growth and governance. The beauty of Asuka lies in its harmony with nature, a reflection of the values held by its people. Chapter 2: The Rise of the Yamato Court. The Asuka period marked the rise of the Yamato Court, Japan's first centralized government. This era saw the consolidation of power under the imperial family, with rulers like Empress Suiko and Prince Shotoku shaping the nation's identity. Reforms, such as the 17-article constitution, laid the foundation for governance and introduced Confucian principles to Japan. Chapter 3: Daily Life and Communities. Life in the Asuka period revolved around close-knit communities. Farmers cultivated rice, the staple of the Japanese diet, while artisans crafted tools, pottery, and textiles. Villages buzzed with activity, from weaving fabrics to preparing food. Despite their simplicity, these communities fostered a sense of unity and purpose that was deeply rooted in tradition. Chapter: The Introduction of Buddhism. One of the most significant events of the Asuka period was the introduction of Buddhism, brought from the Korean peninsula. Initially met with resistance, Buddhism soon flourished under the patronage of Prince Shotoku and other leaders. Temples such as Horyuji, one of the oldest wooden structures in the world, became centers of learning and spirituality, blending art, architecture, and philosophy. Chapter 5: Art and Innovation. The Asuka period was a time of artistic blossoming. Inspired by Chinese and Korean influences, artists created intricate Buddhist statues, vibrant murals, and calligraphic works. Metalwork, ceramics, and textiles reached new heights of sophistication, reflecting the blending of native and imported traditions. These creations were not only beautiful, but also carried spiritual and cultural significance. Chapter 6: Spiritual Beliefs and Rituals. While Buddhism gained prominence, Shinto traditions continued to thrive during the Asuka period. Shrines dedicated to kami, or spirits of nature, dotted the landscape, and rituals honoring these deities remained integral to daily life. The coexistence of Shinto and Buddhism created a unique spiritual harmony, enriching the cultural tapestry of the era. Chapter 7: Governance and Reforms. Governance in the Asuka period was marked by significant reforms. Prince Shotoku's 17-article constitution introduced Confucian ideals, emphasizing harmony, respect, and moral conduct. The Taika reforms of 645 CE sought to centralize power further, redistributing land and reorganizing administrative structures to strengthen the Yamato state. Chapter 8: Trade and Cultural Exchange. The Asuka period was a time of expanding trade and cultural exchange. Goods like silk, ceramics, and advanced tools flowed into Japan from China and Korea, while Japanese crafts and agricultural products traveled abroad. These exchanges brought not only material wealth, but also new ideas, technologies, and artistic influences that shaped the nation's identity. Chapter 9: Festivals and Celebrations. Festivals were an essential part of life during the Asuka period. These events celebrated the changing seasons, harvests, and spiritual milestones. Traditional music, dance, and theatrical performances brought joy to communities, while rituals ensured harmony with the kami and Buddhist deities. The vibrancy of these festivals reflected the people's connection to both their land and their faith. Chapter 10. The Legacy of the Asuka Period. The Asuka period laid the groundwork for many aspects of modern Japan, from governance and religion to art and architecture. Its legacy endures in the nation's cultural identity, reminding us of a time when Japan began to take its first steps as a unified state. As we reflect on this golden age, we find inspiration in its harmony, innovation, and enduring beauty. Conclusion: a journey through time. As you drift into sleep, let the calm and wisdom of the Asuka period guide your dreams. Imagine the gentle rustle of rice fields, the melodic chants of monks, and the glow of lanterns illuminating ancient paths. These echoes of history carry the serenity and spirit of an era where tradition and transformation walked hand in hand. Sleep peacefully, and let the whispers of the past soothe your mind. The Life and Legacy of Queen Himiko. A comprehensive exploration. Step back in time to the ancient land of Yamatai, a mysterious kingdom ruled by a woman whose name echoes through history. Queen Himiko, a shaman queen of ancient Japan, stands as one of the most enigmatic and captivating figures of early Japanese history. Tonight we will delve into her life, her kingdom, and her enduring legacy. Let the tranquil tale of Queen Himiko guide you into a restful slumber. Chapter 1. The Historical Context. The story of Queen Himiko unfolds during the Yayoi period, an era of transformative change in Japan, spanning from approximately 300 BCE to 300 CE. This period saw the introduction of agriculture, metal tools, and increasingly complex social structures. Himiko's reign is documented in Chinese historical texts, particularly the Weiji, Records of Wei, which describe her as the ruler of Yamatai, a kingdom that flourished during this time. Chapter 2. Who was Queen Himiko? Queen Himiko's life remains shrouded in mystery. Described as a shamaness who wielded both political and spiritual authority, she is said to have ascended to power during a time of conflict and unrest. Her ability to mediate between the earthly and spiritual realms earned her the loyalty and respect of her people. Himiko ruled Yamatai with the assistance of her brother, who managed secular affairs while she focused on spiritual governance. Chapter 3. Yamatai, the Kingdom of Himiko. Yamatai, the kingdom ruled by Himiko, is often described as a place of prosperity and order. Archaeological findings suggest a society organized around rice agriculture, trade, and community. While the exact location of Yamatai remains debated, many scholars believe it was situated in either Kyushu or the Kinki region. Its people lived in harmony with the land, guided by the spiritual leadership of their queen. Chapter 4. Himiko and the Chinese Connection Queen. Himiko's influence extended beyond her kingdom's borders. According to Chinese records, she sent emissaries to the Wei court, establishing diplomatic relations with the powerful Chinese state. These exchanges brought prestige to Yamatai and reinforced Himiko's authority. The Wei emperor recognized her as a ruler of Japan, granting her seals and gifts as symbols of her status. Chapter 5. The Shaman Queen's Spiritual Leadership. Himiko's role as a shamaness was central to her reign. She was believed to communicate with deities and spirits, performing rituals to ensure harmony and prosperity for her people. Her spiritual guidance was seen as a source of stability in a time of frequent conflict. This dual role of spiritual leader and political figure made her a unique and revered ruler. Chapter 6. The Mystery of Himiko's Death. Queen. Himiko's death marked the end of an era. Chinese records state that her passing led to turmoil within Yamatai, with her successor struggling to maintain order. Her burial is said to have been grand, involving thousands of attendants. The exact location of her tomb remains a mystery, fueling debates and archaeological expeditions to uncover her resting place. Chapter 7. Himiko's Legacy in Japanese Culture. Himiko's story has transcended time, inspiring countless interpretations in Japanese art, literature, and popular culture. She is often depicted as a symbol of mysticism, power, and femininity. Her enigmatic life continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and storytellers, making her a timeless figure in Japan's cultural narrative. Chapter 8: The Search for Yamatai. The quest to locate Yamatai and Himiko's tomb remains one of the great mysteries of Japanese archaeology. Excavations have uncovered artifacts and clues, but definitive answers elude scholars. The ongoing search is a testament to the enduring allure of Himiko's legacy, bridging the ancient past with the present. Conclusion: reflecting on Himiko's legacy. As we reflect on Queen Himiko's life, we are reminded of the power of leadership, spirituality, and resilience. Her story is not just one of history, but also of mystery and inspiration. Let her legacy guide you into peaceful dreams, where the whispers of the past meet the silence of the night. Sleep well, and let the spirit of Yamatai bring tranquility to your soul.
The life and legacy of Prince Shotoku, a pillar of Japan's cultural foundation. Step into the heart of Japan's Asuka Period, a time of transformation and enlightenment. Among the towering figures of this era stands Prince Shotoku, a visionary leader whose contributions shaped the cultural, spiritual, and political foundations of Japan. Tonight, we will explore the remarkable life and enduring legacy of this historical figure. Let his story guide you into a tranquil and reflective slumber. Chapter 1: The Historical Context. Prince Shotoku's life unfolded during the Asuka period, a time when Japan's political and cultural landscapes were undergoing profound changes. Spanning the late 6th to early 8th centuries CE, this era marked the emergence of centralized governance under the Yamato court, the introduction of Buddhism, and a blossoming of artistic and intellectual pursuits. Born in 574 CE, Shotoku's influence would leave an indelible mark on this transformative period. Chapter 2: Early Life and Lineage. Prince Shotoku, born Umayado no Oji, was the second son of Emperor Yomei and a member of the powerful Soga clan. From a young age, Shotoku exhibited remarkable intelligence and spiritual depth, earning him a reputation as a prodigy. His education included the study of Confucian, Buddhist, and Shinto principles, laying the foundation for his future leadership and philosophical insights. 593 CE. Chapter 3: Shotoku as a regent. In 593 CE, Shotoku was appointed regent to his aunt, Empress Suiko. This position granted him significant authority, allowing him to implement sweeping reforms. His leadership emphasized harmony, ethical governance, and the promotion of Buddhism as a unifying spiritual and cultural force. Under his guidance, the Yamato state began to adopt policies inspired by Confucian ideals and Chinese administrative practices. Chapter 4: The 17-Article Constitution. One of Shotoku's most famous achievements is the 17-Article Constitution, a set of ethical and administrative principles written in 604 CE. This document emphasized harmony, respect for authority, and the importance of moral integrity among leaders. While not a constitution in the modern sense, it served as a philosophical guide for governance, blending Confucian ethics with Buddhist values. Chapter 5: The Promotion of Buddhism. Prince Shotoku's devotion to Buddhism was central to his reign. Recognizing its potential to unify and inspire, he championed the construction of temples, the dissemination of Buddhist texts, and the establishment of monastic communities. Temples like Horyuji, built during his lifetime, remain enduring symbols of his commitment to spiritual and cultural enrichment. Chapter 6: Cultural and Artistic Contributions. Under Shotoku's patronage, the arts flourished. Inspired by Chinese and Korean influences, artists created intricate Buddhist statues, vibrant murals, and calligraphic works. These artistic endeavors reflected the era's spiritual vitality and served as a bridge between native traditions and imported ideas, fostering a unique cultural identity for Japan. Chapter 7: Shotoku's Diplomacy and International Relations. Shotoku's vision extended beyond Japan's borders. He initiated diplomatic missions to the Chinese Sui dynasty, seeking to learn from their advanced culture and governance. These exchanges introduced new technologies, administrative practices, and religious teachings, enriching Japan's intellectual and cultural landscape. His famous letter to the Sui emperor, referring to Japan as the land of the rising sun, marked a bold step in asserting Japan's identity on the world stage. Chapter 8: Philosophical and Spiritual Legacy. Prince Shotoku's philosophical insights blended Confucian, Buddhist, and Shinto principles into a harmonious vision of governance and spirituality. His teachings emphasized compassion, wisdom, and the pursuit of enlightenment. These values resonated not only in his time but also in subsequent centuries, shaping Japan's cultural and spiritual ethos. Chapter 9: The Mystery of Shotoku's Death. Prince Shotoku passed away in 622 CE, leaving behind a legacy that transcended his lifetime. His death marked the end of an era, but his contributions to Japanese culture, governance, and spirituality continued to inspire generations. Temples and monuments were erected in his honor, solidifying his place as one of Japan's most revered figures. Chapter 10: Shotoku's Enduring Legacy. The influence of Prince Shotoku endures in modern Japan. From the temples he built to the principles he espoused, his vision of a harmonious and enlightened society remains a cornerstone of Japanese identity. His life serves as a reminder of the transformative power of wisdom, compassion, and dedication to the greater good. Conclusion: reflecting on Shotoku's legacy. As you drift into sleep, let the story of Prince Shotoku guide your dreams. Imagine the soft chants of monks, the glow of lanterns illuminating ancient paths, and the serene wisdom of a leader devoted to harmony and enlightenment. Sleep peacefully, and let the echoes of his legacy bring tranquility to your soul. Japanese history, from the Paleolithic to the Asuka period. Here's a summary through Japan's ancient past. Over the next 20 minutes, we will explore the fascinating transitions extends from the Paleolithic era to the Asuka period, a time of profound cultural, political, and spiritual development. Sit back, relax, and let the echoes of history guide you. Chapter 1. The Paleolithic Era, circa 30,000 BCE, circa 10,000 BCE. Our journey begins in the Paleolithic era, a time when early humans first arrived in Japan. These hunter-gatherers lived in a world dominated by nature, using stone tools to hunt animals like deer and boar. Archaeological finds, such as chipped stone tools and remains of fire pits, give us glimpses into their lives. They moved with the seasons, relying on their resourcefulness to survive. Chapter 2. The Jomon Period, circa 10,000 BCE, circa 300 BCE. With the advent of the Jomon period, we see the beginnings of settled life. The Jomon people developed a rich culture centered on foraging, fishing, and early forms of agriculture. They are renowned for their pottery, some of the oldest in the world, decorated with intricate cord patterns. Communities began to form, and the people's connection to the natural world is evident in the tools, ornaments, and spiritual artifacts they left behind. Chapter 3. The Yayoi Period, circa 300 BCE, circa 300 CE. The Yayoi period brought transformative change to Japan. Wet rice cultivation, introduced from the Asian mainland, revolutionized agriculture and allowed for larger, more stable communities. Metallurgy also arrived during this period, with tools and weapons made of bronze and iron becoming common. The Yayoi people built granaries to store their harvests and developed a more hierarchical society, with powerful clans beginning to dominate. Chapter 4. The Kofun Period, circa 300 CE, circa 538 CE. The Kofun period is named after the monumental burial mounds built for powerful rulers. These tombs, often surrounded by moats and adorned with terracotta figures known as haniwa, reflect the growing power of the Yamato state. This period saw the emergence of a centralized government, with the Yamato clan consolidating their influence over rival clans. Trade and cultural exchange with China and Korea flourished, bringing new technologies, goods, and ideas. Chapter 5. The Introduction of Buddhism. Toward the end of the Kofun period, Buddhism was introduced to Japan, marking the beginning of a profound cultural shift. Brought from Korea, Buddhism introduced new spiritual concepts and practices that began to influence the ruling elite. Temples and statues began to appear, symbolizing the arrival of this transformative belief system. Chapter 6. The Asuka Period, 538 CE to 710 CE. The Asuka period is remembered as a golden age of cultural and political transformation. During this time, the Yamato court fully embraced Buddhism, promoting its growth alongside native Shinto practices. Prince Shotoku, one of the most iconic figures of this era, championed governance based on Confucian and Buddhist principles. His 17-article constitution emphasized harmony, respect, and moral leadership. Temples like Horyuji, built during this period, stand as testaments to the era's architectural and spiritual advancements. Chapter 7: Cultural and Artistic Flourishing. The Asuka period also saw the flourishing of art and culture. Inspired by Chinese and Korean influences, Japanese artisans created intricate Buddhist statues, elegant paintings, and refined calligraphy. This era's artistic achievements reflect the blending of imported ideas with native traditions, laying the groundwork for Japan's unique cultural identity. Conclusion: a legacy of transformation. From the hunter-gatherers of the Paleolithic era to the sophisticated culture of the Asuka period, Japan's early history is a story of transformation, resilience, and creativity. These foundational eras shaped the nation's identity, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire. As we end our journey, let the echoes of Japan's ancient past bring a sense of peace and wonder to your thoughts.
ここからは要約した日本語訳を読み上げていきたいと思います。日本の歴史の旅、旧石器時代から飛鳥時代まで。日本の古代の過去への旅へようこそ。旧石器時代から飛鳥時代への魅力的なお話をします。文化的、政治的発展の深い物語をご紹介します。リラックスして歴史の響きをご堪能ください。一章、旧石器時代、約3万年前から約1000年前。私たちの旅は、初期の人類が日本に到達した旧石器時代に始まります。これらの狩猟採取民は自然が支配する世界で暮らし、鹿やイノシシのような動物を狩るために石器を使用しました。チップ状の石器や火の跡のような考古学的発見は彼らの生活を垣間見る手がかりを提供します。彼らは季節に合わせて移動し、その知恵を頼りに生き延びました。第2章、縄文時代、約1000年前から約紀元前300年。縄文時代の到来とともに定住生活の始まりが見られます。縄文人は採取、漁業、初期の農業を中心とした豊かな文化を築きました。彼らは世界最古の縄文土器で知られ、縄で模様をつけた精巧な装飾が特徴です。コミュニティが形成され、道具、装飾品、精神的な遺物に自然とのつながりが見られます。第3章、弥生時代、約1 紀元前300年から約紀元300年。弥生時代は日本に変革をもたらしました。アジア本土から導入された水稲耕作は農業を革命的に変え、より大きく安定したコミュニティを可能にしました。この時代には金属加工も導入され、青銅や鉄で作られた道具や武器が一般的になりました。弥生人は収穫物を保存するための高床倉庫を建設し、より階層的な社会を発展させました。第4章、古墳時代、約紀元前300年から約538年。古墳時代は強力な支配者のために建てられた巨大な埋葬塚にちなんで名付けられました。これらの古墳はしばしば堀に囲まれ、埴輪と呼ばれるテラコッタの人物像で飾られていました。これらは邪馬台国の台頭を反映しており、大和氏が他の氏族に対しその影響力を拡大しました。この時代には中国や朝鮮との貿易と文化交流が盛んになり、新しい技術、物品、思想がもたらせました。第5章、仏教の導入。古墳時代の終わり頃、仏教が日本に導入され、文化的な大きな変化の始まりを告げました。朝鮮から伝えられた仏教は、新しい精神的な概念と実践をもたらし、支配層に影響を与え始めました。寺院や仏像が現れ、この変革の象徴となりました。第6章、飛鳥時代、538年から710年。飛鳥時代は文化的、政治的変革の黄金時代として記憶されています。この時代、大和朝廷は仏教を受け入れ、従来の神道の実践とともにその成長を施しました。飛鳥時代を象徴する人物である聖徳太子は、儒教と仏教の原則に基づいた統治を推進しました。彼の17条憲法は、調和、尊敬、道徳的リーダーシップを重視しました。この時代に建設された法隆寺などの寺院は、建設的、精神的な進歩の証として残っています。第7章、文化と芸術の繁栄。飛鳥時代は芸術と文化が花咲いた時代でもありました。中国や朝鮮の影響を受けて、日本の職人たちは精巧な仏像、優美な絵画、洗練された書道を創作しました。この時代の芸術的成果は、輸入された思想と従来の伝統が融合し、日本独自の 文化的アイデンティティを築く基盤となりました。結論。変革の遺産。旧石時代の狩猟採取民から飛鳥時代の洗練された文化へ。日本の初期の歴史は変革、回復力、想像力の物語です。これらの基礎的な時代は日本のアイデンティティを形作り、今でも私たちを刺激し続けています。この旅の終わりに日本の古代の過去の響きが平和と共感の感覚をあなたの心に届けてくれることを願っています。